Today on the Landscape Lowdown, we are going to talk about how to create a low maintenance landscape. It all starts out with good planning. So there's no landscape that is no maintenance. So we try to figure out ways to create low maintenance. So the number one thing you want to consider is really evaluating yourself, trying to understand what your limits are. Evaluate the time you are willing to spend in the garden, you're willing to devote in your garden, in your landscape, or whether you're willing to pay someone to maintain that landscape. It's kind of a self-evaluating question, because everybody's at a different level of their commitment and what they're willing to do in their property, as well as the time that they have available for those things. The number two thing is keep it simple. When you are planning a landscape that is low maintenance, you want to keep it simple. Try to stay away from elaborate water features and plants that are that grow rapidly or very formal, things like that. You want to try to avoid those things when you're thinking about designing a low maintenance landscape. The next thing is kind of goes along with that is selecting the right plants. So plants are key to every landscape. Obviously, you want to have plants in your landscape. You want to select those plants that aren't going to grow super rapidly, because that means you're going to have to trim it more often to keep it under control. Oftentimes, miniature plants and dwarf plants are what you want to consider using in a low maintenance landscape. Style is something you also want to consider as far as plants are concerned. So a formal garden, like I mentioned before, is going to create more maintenance. So a hedgerow of boxwoods, you're going to have to maintain that hedgerow versus having individual plants in the landscape and creating more of a naturalized look. The fourth thing I want to talk about is mulching. So mulch. It's going to suppress those weeds. It's going to suppress the weeds from germinating, and it will help with controlling your weeds throughout the season. The fifth thing I want to talk about is hardscaping. So it's one of those things you don't think about in a landscape necessarily. Hardscaping is a great method of creating a functional space that has pretty minimal maintenance requirements. So that is really going to help out in creating a low maintenance landscape. Creating a hardscape area, a patio, paver patio, or walkway. Those things are going to take very minimal maintenance. So you're going to maybe do a power washing and a resanding every once in a while, or maybe a sealer, but it's typically years. You can wait until you do those things. So it's minimal. It's not an every year thing. So using those hardscape elements as an opportunity to create low maintenance is super helpful. So that was the last thing I wanted to talk about. I'll run back through this. Good planning is key. Know your limits. Keep it simple. Select the right plants and consider hardscape. Those are the 5 items that you always want to keep in mind when you're thinking about low maintenance landscapes. If you have any questions or comments to go along with this, feel free to comment below, contact us, let us know. Thanks for watching.